Chapter 14, the chapter where some stuff happens. Meanwhile, back at their treehouse, George and Harold grab some supplies before heading off to save Sulu. "We'll need our 3D Hypno Ring," said George, "to change Sulu back to his old self again." "Cool, and we better take the rest of this extra strength superpower juice, just in case." "Good idea," said George. The two friends stuffed their supplies of their pet pterodactyl into the book bags and headed down the treehouse ladder. "Just where the heck do you two think you're going?" asked a commanding voice at the bottom of the ladder. It was George's dad, and he didn't seem very happy. Said George. We need to go back to school for something." "Yeah," said Harold. "We forgot something." "We'll have to wait until tomorrow," said George's dad. "We're having dinner with the Hutchinsons tonight, remember?" "Oh, yeah," said George. It's Grandparents' Day. We almost forgot." "Well, you're just in time for dinner," said George's dad. "Go inside and wash up." "But the fate of the entire world is in our hands," cried Harold. "The fate of the entire world can wait until tomorrow," said George's dad. Chapter 15, Super Supper. After they washed their hands, the two boys went to the dining room. George's parents had prepared a big meal, and everybody waited patiently for George and Harold to join them. Harold's mom, sister, and grandpa were there, along with George's mom, dad, and his great-grandma. "Hello, babies," said George's great-grandma. "What have you boys been up to today?" "Nothing," said George as he hugged his great-grandma. "We made you and Grandpa a comic book yesterday," said Harold. "You did?" said Harold's grandpa. "Well, let's have a look." George shuffled through his book bag, taking things out and laying them on the table. It's here somewhere," he said. Finally, he pulled out 2 copies of their latest comic book, The Adventures of Boxer Boy and Great Granny Girdle. "It's about how you guys turn into superheroes and save the world and stuff," said George. "I drew the pictures," said Harold. "Well, that's very nice, boys," said George's dad. "Now sit down and let's eat." "We can't," said George. "We've got to go now. It's really important." George and Harold's grandparents poured themselves a glass of juice and began reading their new comic books, while the boys continued arguing with George's dad. Chapter 16, The Adventures of Boxer Boy and Great Granny Girdle. An epic novella by George Beard and Harold Hutchins. The Adventures of Boxer Boy and Great Granny Girdle by George Beard and Harold Hutchins. Everybody knows that grandparents are kind of dorky. They tell dumb jokes. Why did the silly Willie throw his clock in the air? He wanted to see time fly. Ha ha. They'll call you embarrassing nicknames in public. Hello, babies. Ha ha. And they have no sense of what things cost. Here's a nickel. Why don't you buy a video game with it? Thanks, I will. But grandparents are still cool. For one reason. We're old, and we don't care what anyone thinks. Out of my way, Buster Brown. Shove. Step aside, you bother me. Whack. Our heroes! And so, everything was cool until one day, when a strange new store opened up downtown. They were selling robots! "Hey kids, trading your old worn-out grandparents for the latest in RoboGeeks technology." Cool. "Two tons better than regular grandparents. They tell funny jokes. What's 40 feet long and smells like pee? Line dancers at the old folks' home. Ha ha. They'll call you cool nicknames in public. Hey, Sor. Yo, what's up, dog? And best of all, they have no sense of what things cost. Here's $10,000 for a candy bar." Soon every kid in town was trading in their old grandparents. "Hey, what's going on?" "Nothing." "Where are you taking us?" "Nowhere." "For brand new Robo-Grannies and Grandpatron 2000s. "Wow, cool. I love my new Robo-Geezers." Soon there was only 2 real grandparents left in town. "You wouldn't trade us in, would you?" "No way!" "You better not or you'll get a whipping." Anyway, one day George and Harold's grandparents went downtown. Something fishy is going on in there. So they snuck inside the building. Soon, hey look! They opened the door and saw a tragic discovery. "Hey, all of the grandparents in town got totally captured." Oh my! We've got to save those old folks. But how? Beats me. Hey, look, a whole box of hard candies. Let's forget those geezers for now and just eat candy. What geezers? Munch, munch. Meanwhile, in the next room. In a few more days, those old folks will be under our control. Cool. Then I'll give them superpowers. How will you do that? Easy. I've got a whole box of superpowered hard candies in the other room. Old people love hard candies. I know. Later. Those candies were good. I feel so strong. Me too. I feel powerful. Oh no, those guys ate all my superpower hard candy. Uh-oh. George and Harold's grandparents joined hands. Geezer powers activate! They spinned around and around. Soon they were transformed. I'm Boxer Boy. I'm Great Granny Girdle. I'm out of here. I'm with you. The bad guys ran upstairs. They got into a UFO on top of their building and took off. Calling all robo-geezers! Attack Boxer Boy and Great Granny Girdle! Suddenly, all the robo-geezers in town transformed. Click, click, and off they flew. The robo-geezers attacked, but Boxer Boy and Great Granny Girdle were faster than a speeding electric scooter, zoom, more powerful than adult diapers, bonk, and be able to leap tall buildings without breaking a hip. Whee! But there's too many of them. I have an idea. Let them chase you for a while. So the robots all chased Great Granny Girdle, and Boxer Boy attacked the spaceship. Hey, pow, punch, bang, bang, crash. Kiki. Then he got some paint. Hey. And added the finishing touch. Hey, Robo-Dorks! Look! What? Hey, yummy! The Robo-Geezers tried to devour the spaceship in a wild feeding frenzy. They ate and ate and ate and ate. Munch, munch, munch. Then one of them bit on the fuel line. And kaboom! We're free! Hooray for Boxer Boy! And 3 cheers for Great Granny Girdle. The end. Treehouse Comics Inc. Chapter 17. Meanwhile, back at the treehouse, while George and Harold pleaded with George's dad to be excused from dinner, a pack of evil schemers was just outside their window, sneaking up into their treehouse. We've got to create some kind of diversion while we unleash our sinful scheme, said evil Harold. The villains looked around the treehouse for anything they could use. What's this little thing? Said evil George. He pressed a button on the back of the miniature Goosey Grow 4000. Suddenly, a beam of energy shot out of the tiny contraption, accidentally zapping evil Sulu, who was tucked inside evil Harold's shirt pocket. Immediately, evil Sulu began to grow bigger and bigger until he leaped out of evil Harold's pocket and fell to the floor with a giant thud. Evil Sulu was now the size of a full-grown sheepdog. The villains all smiled at one another as they watched evil Sulu growl and snarl ferociously. I think we found our diversion, said evil George as he zapped evil Sulu again.